Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Yesterday we saw something. We saw that, who was it, Claire or somebody in the Sangha? She came up with this. I asked the question, I am, or just I. But what he said, but I. This was very good. This is it actually. I. Beyond these concepts of full and complete is here. But the personality, play of individuality comes with the notion, but I, the little I, small I, the limited notion about myself. So all that reminding you of is that you are picking up of the notion. What is here or not having to get anywhere, not having to become something, no knowledge to learn. And then we saw that we did a beautiful exercise. And we saw that how these bud, our favorite bud, keep saying, mind keeps saying those, and we keep picking them up. And we pick up the notion of a self, of a small I. And then we want to get rid of it. It is God pretending to be personal, and in that pretense, wanting to come back to God. What is simpler than all of this? Because that person coming back to God can seem like a very arduous path, full of obstacles, full of tendencies, full of conditions, full of getting it not. But the best news is that what you are already right now is all that you will ever be. And it is greater than anything that you can imagine. That is why this where you will be stuck for the rest of your life. So forget it. It is not from that perspective. It is because you are misunderstanding what here naturally. You think that there is a person sitting there that you must fix. But you only think that. Oh, the voice is breaking. Okay, let's try to switch to another. Okay, let's see how it goes now. What you are saying is that right now, what you are, just become aware of this and don't interpret it, don't judge it in any way. Let all judgments come and go. Everything for this recognition is already here. Don't have to move, don't have to change anything at all. What is naturally present here, before all sensations, I am. Before all experience, I am. Nothing is done to create this I am, and nothing that you will do will change this I am. Your original nature will remain even if you wear the mask of personality, personhood. Nothing in reality is affected by it because this is what you are. And in the play, as you are not picking up these false notions, the truth is completely apparent and it is wordless. We don't have to say, you don't have to say that you are aware of your existence here. It is naturally there. No proclamation is needed. So much good news for you because as the false is dropped, the true is apparent. And you don't even have to do anything to drop the false. Can anything be simpler than this? And if you're still holding on to that same old notion, oh, the trouble is because it is too simple, forget this one also. Forget it. It served its purpose. You saw it is simple. Now don't be enamored by it. Forget it. Don't take any position about anything at all. Because all your positions are just the mask of God. Any position that you take is the mask of God. God pretending to be a limited entity. God pretending to be only this and not that. Then you will see that in this entire appearance, you will not be able to draw a dividing line saying this is me and this is other. And yet, even worldly conversations can continue. The words can arise from your mouth saying, this is what happened to me. How are you today? You see, that naturalness doesn't have to go. But truly, you will not be able to find this separate me, and you will not have the notion of another. All of this has just been conditioning. We have learned this, now we are unlearning it. Unlearn your favorite notions, because your favorite notions are creating this, are pretending to create this small ego out of you. But your reality is just here, effortlessly. Meet me without effort, then we meet as one. Meet me without pretense, and recognize our true nature, our true being. Don't pick up the seeker for a bit. Don't pick up the questioner for a bit. Don't pick up the one who has understood for a bit. Remain naked, open, don't know anything. Here the truth is clear. Your devotion is independent of your pretense of being a devotee. Your love is independent of your idea of being a lover. Don't take any position with anything at all. And you will find that naturally everything that needs to happen, even in the worldly appearance, is happening. You can do nothing about your hearing. It is just happening. You are not doing your sight. Sight is just there. Because these are just the automatic, spontaneous arising out of your own existence, your own consciousness, which is effortlessly present. If God is effortlessly present, what more do you want to add to that? God is here. And this God is notionless. Whatever notion that you might have of God, forget about them. We don't use them in that way. Pretend as if it is a new word that you are hearing. without any cultural, religious, or spiritual conditioning. It is a word for your being, your existence. It has no limit, no boundary, no shape, no size. Just I am. What is aware of this I am? Who am I? You are noticing that there is no trouble when you remain notionless, conceptless. Therefore, the only trouble is I am addicted to picking up a notion, addicted to picking up a concept. Now, the sages have prescribed two methods, which are ultimately one actually, but they seem like two methods by which to get rid of this addiction to picking up a notion. The first is surrender, let go. Whatever notion might be coming from the mind, you allow it to just come and go. Surrender it to the higher power, whether you call that higher power Guru, God, Self, it doesn't matter. Know that that one takes much better care of everything than your notion about yourself ever can. Allow all notions to come and go. Even if you pick up a notion, in the next moment it is gone. Don't even pick up the notion that, oh, I picked up this notion. It's all gone, fresh, now. This is surrender. Allowing consciousness your own holy presence, to be the doer and the experiencer of all things without getting any individual idea involved, is surrender. Now, some of us, we don't have this temperament. We're not able to. We've heard it often enough, but it doesn't seem like I can just let go. For those ones, the sages have said, whatever you pick up, whatever idea you pick up about yourself, inquire and see whether that is true. I must be a better spiritual seeker. I must find freedom. So we can inquire into these notions and check whether such a I actually exists. Can you find the one who finds freedom? You cannot. And because you cannot, you see that this notion is false. So in this way, we play the game of delusion and breaking the delusion, coming back to the truth. But the truth is naturally present here in your notionless existence. Now remain in silence in this notionless existence. And if any notion becomes meaningful for you, see if you can just hand it over, surrender it. And if you can't seem to hand it over, then you inquire into it as I have just explained. Taste your being, taste your existence, taste your presence, completely open, allowing all things to come and go, allowing all thoughts to come and go. All emotions are allowed, all sensations are allowed. And these instructions are not just for this satsang, it is for life. in this play, as we get more and more used to unadulterated being, motionless existence, you will not ask for the limited self again. The but limited I will not seem attractive to you anymore. Whatever has to be seen will be seen naturally. Whatever has to be heard will be heard naturally. No conceptual struggling about anything at all. Now you cannot suffer.
I share something that's just kind of coming now? Something that was just kind of arising now and that has been happening recently. It's like it makes me remember that like Guruji once said, "You ask, but can you receive?" Like, and it's almost like in this moment of recognition, it's like not even that you have been just thrown into like the shoreless ocean of this unbound like peace and love and joy and contentment. It's like, it's not even like you've been thrown into the ocean, like seeing just undeniably that like you are that. And then there's some kind of like like it's too much. Like it feels like overwhelming. Of course it's not overwhelming for the ocean. How can it be overwhelming? You know, how can what you are be overwhelming? But that's kind of becoming this sort of like, it's just, and it sort of makes me remember like what Guruji was saying, like you ask, you say you want this thing, but it's here, can you take it? And I've noticed this sort of thing happening. It's just kind of like, it's here, it's so clear that it's here, it's so clear that not only is it mine, it's me, like, but it's like, too much peace, too much joy, too much love. It's like, I don't know if you have anything to share about that.
So what happens is that because we have considered ourselves to be limited for so long, as we are coming to the seeing that I am this shoreless being, there are two usual responses in the play. The first is the response of fear. Oh, what's going to happen? Whether we call this the fear of death or the fear of the unknown. And if you don't have a master, then many times when we first get a taste of a little bit of this fear, something just feels to back off because the master is not there. Usually, the master is not there saying, it's okay, nothing will happen to you. This is the first. The second is that as we find the vastness of this, we get very caught up in the feeling around it, the taste of it. I can feel like, oh, the excitement of it. But whether it is the fear of it or the excitement of this discovery, the discovery is not the fear or the excitement. So let that fear play out how it has to. Let this excitement also play out how it has to. But you are seeing that neither of these you are. The ocean remains unmoved, no matter what the quality of the waves might be. So outwardly, there can be this, what's going to happen? what's happening? Either can happen, but in reality, you have always only been this. So nothing is going to happen, and nothing really is happening. It is just the false idea being thrown away. These byproducts, they can come, they can go, but it is never about any of the byproducts itself. If they are sweet, we can enjoy them. Enjoy them as prasad. Prasad means the offering that you get after darshan. If they are scary, know that your master is taking care of everything. In this way, all these movement of the waves can happen. But you see that whatever expression might be playing out here, whether it is fear or excitement, I remain untouched, unmoved, unchanging. So no desire, no aversion to anything that might play out as this discovery is happening. As long as we don't get confused between the byproducts of the discovery and the discovery itself, the play cannot perpetuate. The belief in the individual identity in the play cannot perpetuate. The play can go on. The appearance of the play can go on.
It's like Gorgie always says, like, the one who starts the inquiry will not finish the inquiry. And it's just so like, as a person coming into Satsang, it's kind of like, oh, I just signed up for like a bit more peace, a bit more contentment.
Yes.
And then being given like, it's like just finding it, it's like, I don't know, let's just say you just wanted to win the lottery or something.
Yes.
And then actually you found out that like you were God and the whole universe was created within you.
Yeah.
Like it's...
Yes, it's like that. It's like that. You came in as a cat expecting the final bowl of milk, which will be so tasty, so amazing. But you realize that the whole universe is just a speck within you. And you were thinking you were a cat and you wanted milk or something. This is I like this example. You came in expecting to win the lottery if you're lucky, but you found that all of this already belongs to you.
Like what I was just going to say is that it feels like like the gift is too great to receive, but of course that's only like if you're speaking from the limited person.
And yet, if the play of gratitude has to happen, it can happen. You don't have to feel like I must always take the ultimate perspective or something.
like Guruji says, like maybe that's why it has to happen gradually. Because otherwise, if you just saw kind of the vastness of the being, it would I don't know. Like,
usually takes its time, the unfolding. You cannot really say anything about consciousness which is definitive. We can never say it has to happen this way or not. But usually when we say has to, we mean usually it does. How do you do anything without identifying with the doer thought? How do you do anything without identifying with the doer thought? Actually, if you see throughout the day, many things will happen through this body without even the thought of doing it or the thought that I am the doer. In fact, you're doing everything without the doer thought. Mostly the doer thought also comes post facto. You shouldn't have done that. Why did you do this? Oh, good, you did that. That was the right thing to do. Many times it comes post facto. Of course, it can also come before the event. Because it comes before and after, it can seem like, oh, there is a real doer there. But I'm telling you right now from this experience that these words are just coming out of this mouth. There is no dual thought which is doing them. There is no individual entity which is speaking these words. So this is what I can tell you from my experience. Now you must see from your own experience. How do all these movements happen? Who is doing them? And is there a prerequisite that you must be identified before some action comes from this body? And you will find, as I did, that there is no such prerequisite. Like the flow of consciousness, the world is moving effortlessly, and this body is a part of this world. When the separation, the boundary idea falls away, then you will see that just as the movement of consciousness is changing the colors of this whole world, includes the changing the colors of what appears from this body. Yes. Who is the doer? To whom does the doer thought come? That is the question. Fear of the unknown is so strong that the right side of my body is tightening, extreme with tension. Guruji, what do I do now? See if you are on camera. Okay. The camera doesn't seem to work. Don't fight with this fear. Just see naturally. And if the answer doesn't come, it's fine. But naturally, if some answer arises for this, how much space is this fear truly taking within you? It can seem like our entire attention is getting used up in this sensation of fear. But allow the question to make some room effortlessly. How much space is this fear taking inside me? And if it is taking all the space, then where am I hearing these words? In which space are these words being heard? Then you find that this space of your existence can contain not just this fear, but the entire universe. When we see like this, then we stop fearing the fear. There is nothing to fear about fear. Let fear come. There is a huge vastness within you which is completely untouched by this fear. It is just the nature of these things that they pull in all our attention, so it can seem like it is too much. But the example is just like, I like to say that if there is a big white wall behind me and I put a small black dot there, and I ask most of you, if you hadn't heard the context, I would say, what do you see? And most of you will say, oh, there's a black dot. There's a black dot. Very rarely would someone say, there's a big wall. We're so used to this space that we've forgotten its vastness, its boundarylessness. It can contain the entire universe and many times this universe with no trouble. Just like the screen remains untouched, no matter which visual is being projected on it, your being, your consciousness remains untouched, no matter what the sensation might be. So we don't have to resist any sensation, we don't have to fear any appearance. Allow it to come. In fact, if you want, you can keep a slightly welcoming attitude and say, okay, you want to live here for some time? Let's see how long you will last. And you will see that compared to the reality of you, all these sensations are just coming and going. Aman says, for example, when I'm studying, a phenomenal eye sticks out who seems to be gaining knowledge, learning concepts, and retaining them. Find out the nature of this eye, if there is such a thing. The, the belief in concepts could be happening, consciousness is doing them. The learning or unlearning of new concepts is happening. All is the play of consciousness itself. It is the belief in this individual I which is the cause of suffering, which is the root of suffering. See if it actually exists. See if there's such a person sitting there who knows something or doesn't know something. It is just imagine. There is no such entity. There is no person to get rid of. It is just to imagine motion. Like if you had believed yourself to be a blue cat all your life, then you would now say that I feel like the cat is learning new things. Just play with this, experiment with this, and you will see that there is no such individual I. Your being is the being of God, of consciousness, existence itself. The mind tries to convince you that it is a limited I, but there is no such thing. Rahul asks, since not always being able to join satsang, I go with the recording. And I have a question. Now, when hearing in the space with closed eyes, two different sounds are being perceived. One at my end, local surrounding, and one from your end, side traffic. Something can distinctively sort them as two different sounds. One local from my side and the other from recording recorded in Bangalore. Okay. Now, the sounds can be distinctive. Just like in the experience, there can be the hearing of these words, there can be a traffic noise, there can be various different perceptions happening. The only confusion is what is mine in this? What makes the me in this? What makes something local to me? Is it the quality or the intimacy of a sensation that we allow that to become me? Without this interpretive voice, without the voice of the mind, we would not have this idea of me. We would not say that this is my hand as much as we would say that this is my universe. The same feeling of belonging. We have been taught to separate this me. See, all you're experiencing is a set of sensations in the same space of your being. Now we have been taught how to differentiate between me, my sensations, and the sensations which are outside of me. A baby does not have this. That's why one of my favorite examples, and which can explain this so clearly, is that if you are a parent or if you've seen a child, you will notice that you buy them a toy and they're really young, really small, and you hang it on the crib and you keep pointing to that child, play with this toy, we bought it for you. And the child is hand is reaching up there and he starts playing with the hand. See? So it makes no difference to the child whether the playing is happening with the toy or the hand, because that distinction of me and outside me is not there. Then our parents taught us your hand, your face, your make these actions, do these, make these faces, walk like this, talk like this. So we've been taught how to individualize a certain set of sensations, calling them me, you see, and how these are outer, me and the other. You see. Now what you're seeing is that all your experiences, all your perceptions are all happening within you. But if you're still feeling that within me must mean within the body, then this can seem confusing. Where are the sensations of the body happening? You see? Our conditioning is so strong that when I say within you, you might be thinking within my body. I'm not saying that. In the space of your existence, when you exist, all these sensations are there, all this perception is there. All of this is the screen of consciousness in which the body is playing and all other lights and sounds are playing. The mind has taught us, whether it came through this, that which we call my mind, these thoughts which are so intimate, or the seeming thoughts of others. But it is the same mind which has taught us that this boundary is me and this outside this boundary is not me. So, how would you define me? And therefore, how would you define local to you? You see, this distinction is starting to fade away. You will notice that all boundaries are being experienced as sensations within you. But this you itself, you will not be able to find a boundary for. You see? So then these ideas of really ideas with belief about me and other, me and mine, you see, which is the source of all suffering, will start to fade away. There is no such me who could have a mind. There is no such you that is the owner of that computer. If there is an owner, that owner owns everything in your perception. There are no two. And more as you're finding out who you are. So don't struggle with this insight. I see many of you wanting to struggle with this insight, trying to see the oneness of the world. Don't have to do anything of the sort. Just see what you are. Are you a thing? Are you an object contained in this world? If you were an object contained in this world, then you would be the individual doer, you would be the individual experiencer. But what you're finding is that you are not an object. All these objects are just perceptions within you. You see? So come to your seeing of your non-objective truth, and all these insights will be so apparent. But as long as the condition is that I am an object in this world, then these insights will seem like a struggle. So stay with the main question, which is who are you? Then all this confusion about me and mine and you and yours will start to fade away. Who is aware of this world? Who is aware of the me and other? Who is aware of your existence? Stay with these questions. Then all of this oneness will become so apparent, so clear, without any struggle. All confusion, remember, all confusion is confusion about who I am. It might seem like the confusion is about whether the world is within me or outside me, whether the world is real or illusion. Who am I in this world? Is it? But the real confusion is always about who I am. Once you resolve that, then all these insights will be so naturally clear. Once you see that you are not an object, once you see you are beyond time and space, once you see that you are all there is, then you will find that all that is moving in time and space are just aspects, appearances within the dynamic aspect of you. So find out who is aware of your existence. What is the shape and size of that one? Where is it located? This will resolve all of these seeming confusions about the world. Don't have to struggle with any of that. Same for the question about dualship also. The question about whether I have free will or not is still a mistaken identity. Is there such a you which could have anything at all, including free will? And you find that there is no such me, and you find that there was just a mistaken notion that there is an individual doer or an individual experiencer. What should I do? Or how come this is my experience? All of these come from a mistaken notion about who you are. Once you find that you are not an object in this world, once you find that in your true nature you have no qualities or attributes, yet you are the substratum of all qualities and attributes, then all of these insights will become clearer and clearer. So very good, even though you're not able to join satsang regularly, you're watching the satsang is good enough. Stay with the main inquiries and all these insights will become apparent. Today is Friday. So, like I sometimes say, have a motionless, concept-free weekend. Don't come back on Monday full of ideas about yourself. This emptiness that you're seeing about yourself now, this can continue. We have satsang Monday to Friday, so that every day you have this inner bath, inner cleansing of from all this conceptual baggage we seem to pick up every day. But the weekend is time that my family has asked of me. That's why we have the break from satsang on Saturday and Sunday, and to give this body a little bit of rest. We have this, but see how what has been shared in satsang, how life can be completely lived out without having to pick up a single idea about yourself. And if you do pick up ideas about yourself, don't pick up guilt about that. Just drop the next notion. It is enough. You are free in every moment. Thank you for being in satsang today, as well as many of you have been in satsang the entire week. There is much gratitude for this openness and much joy in seeing your discovery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Shri Satguru Ananta Ji ki Jai.